tremendous program. They have our deepest respect. They're obviously the three-time national champions. Are here for a fourth time, which is very impressive, and we're going to have our hands full, there's no doubt. Well, a lot of things. We had a very good offensive line coming back, I felt, from a year ago. And I told those guys, in the preseason that I think the season will rest on them, to be honest with you. They're going to set the tone. And what I meant by that is that they were going to develop our whole team. In order to win the Missouri Valley, those from North Dakota State know this, you have to have a physicality about your team. And it all starts your offensive line. And they really allowed our defense to get better, our front seven, our defense, because our front was pretty physical. And they've opened holes for this guy next to me and been able to protect Trey so he can throw the ball around a little bit. So that's kind of where it started. I felt we'd be a pretty good football team. We didn't have Lasheen Neblet a year ago. We had very good foot speed. And then John Mark Anderson, another pretty good player, young player a year ago. We lost both of those guys during training camp and lost some speed and our ability to stretch coverages. So I felt if we could get those guys back and we could get our transfer quarterback to mesh, we'd be maybe at this place next year. But it happened pretty quickly. Trey's I think these guys will tell you, Trey's a very good teammate. He's very humble. He's a hard worker, and he's fit in very well. And our offense has really taken off here the second half of the season. We've been very good in the playoffs. And our defense, front seven's played pretty well as our secondary. So we've, our kicking game is vastly improved over a year ago. Chris Highland, gentleman 2 spots down from me, has been a tremendous player, one of the best long snappers I've ever been around. He's a great kid as well, very good student. So we've improved in some areas that you have to be good at in order to win and play on this kind of stage. And you have to play sound defense, obviously, to get to this point. But, we've been pretty explosive offense, and our kicking game's been pretty solid as well as our defense. So, we had a tough road. We had to play Northern Iowa at home, which was good that we played them at home. But that was our only loss, and we were able to correct that a little bit. And then we went on the road to Eastern Washington, and who was obviously another storied program out west, who's won a national championship. Then went out to New Hampshire, who was the number 1 seed in the playoffs in the tournament, and won there. So I was very impressed with our team for doing that. I felt, it's not easy to get here, and no matter what road you take, it's difficult because there's every team I'm sure has come this far has had to fight through some adversity, and we were able to do that, as I'm sure NDSU was too, but it's been a great run. I think that this is something that we all were hoping would happen, and like I said earlier, and I think it's. I credit these guys next to me and our team for fighting through a tough road to get here.
Well, I think that the barbecue bowl last night, we had a great time. It was nice to kind of let loose and just have a little bit of fun with your teammates. And then I think the best moment probably though was the Miracle League game that we got to play, that flag football game, and that was awesome. We had a lot of fun there, interacting with some of the kids, and it's been a crazy 48 hours, but well worth it. I think everything that we've done.
I would say how we were all together, and then first starting off with that I ref the little kids game for the special needs kids. I would say doing that and just meeting the players and seeing each other and just being ready. That's what I would say. We ready now.
Yeah, I would definitely say a lighthearted moment for me would be just to be around the kids and, give back, because you definitely want to give back. One of the most important moments, like right now for me, is just like Marshawn said, just being able to be out here with your brothers, especially being a senior. That this is the last game that you all will be playing together, as a whole team. This is the last year that this 2014, 2015 team will get to play together. So to have an opportunity to go out with a national championship is nothing like it.
I think it is part of that. I think one thing we tried to do in the off season was try to make ourselves a little bit more balanced, more dynamic, if you will, more explosive team, and that has to do with, obviously some of our players I mentioned earlier that weren't around last year in their health. But we want to be a team that can be more than just one-dimensional, and in our conference, there are times you're going to have to run, power football or muscle football, and NDSU is a great example of that. But we all have to have the ability to throw the ball. We all have to have the ability to attack the perimeter in the running game. So I don't think there's any doubt what you said is probably the reason why we're here, one of the biggest reasons. And there's a lot of reasons, but that's maybe one of the biggest, because we do have different ways of attacking a defense, and we are able to adapt our offense to the situation or scenario we need to win the game. And because we do have players in every facet of the style which you mentioned, we have guys within that style that can do that. So this is a player's game. It always has been. Coaches get too much credit when we win and too much to blame probably when we lose. This is about these guys next to me. We have good players in a lot of spots, but particularly offensively, we have some very, very dynamic and explosive players offensively, and particularly in our skill positions.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of emotion coming into the day before the game. It just feels real good to be in this position, to see all the hard work that we put in over the off season and the winter workouts and all of that to finally pay off, and for us to finally be in a position to, ultimately try to win a national championship, which has been our goal since the beginning of the season. First we wanted to win the Missouri Valley, which is a very tough task, and we're in a very good conference, and then to accomplish that goal and then to be on our way to, being able to accomplish another goal that we had and win a national championship is definitely a great feeling, and it's something that we don't take for granted, and we feel is definitely a blessing.
Well, it's been a crazy kind of 48 hours since we've gotten in, but we're done with most of the mandatory team functions, and now it's just time to play football. We're kind of into our regular Friday schedule that we've had all throughout the season, and now we're just focused on one thing, and that's North Dakota State.
I would just say we just ready to play now. That's all I got to say.